the Overman Warrior Podcast.
Hi, Rich Hoffman here. One of the hardest things to measure in mass cultures is engagement. How do you get people to engage with something? I think advertisers would love to solve that riddle. I mean, they have ideas of what certain color schemes, certain fonts, way things are presented, encourage engagement. And this is an issue. I had people who think they're really smart engage with me recently about some of the methods I use to get engagement out of people. And I will say to all of them that you can't fake sincerity. You got to actually be that. And this came from, I tend to talk to people in all the time zones, all around the world. So I always have my ear open for something that might come, an email that might come in at 2 a.m, because it's probably noon or 2 o'clock in the afternoon in those places where those emails are coming from. So to encourage engagement, which is, hey, people like to know that they sent you an email and that you replied back. But it's just saying, hey, I received your email. They want to know that you engage with them across vast spans and across time. It reassures them that they're communicating with you. So the engagement is important. Engagement, there's a lot of, by nature, human beings are raised to be passive aggressive because you can't always have honest conflict. You might disagree with somebody on something, but you learn through your family interactions. You might not want to tell your grandma that she's a big fat cow because she gives you free stuff all the time. So you might have learned as a human being to get the free stuff, you'd be nice to grandma and call her names behind her back. And so human beings grow up and become very passive aggressive. So when you're trying to create an engagement culture, you need to break through those barriers and get people to honestly want to engage with you on something that you're trying to communicate to them, and get behind their learned layers of phoniness. So engagement is a very difficult thing, especially when you're talking about mass cultures. Whenever you're trying to communicate something from you to them. So one thing I do is I dress well because people tend to engage better with people who look respectable and take the extra steps to present themselves in a professional way. That encourages people to do the same on their end. They are encouraged to interact more professionally when they're dealing with people who present themselves professionally. And then the other thing is when I get emails, I miss a lot of emails. Because I get so many of them. I think somebody did a study on me this week and told me that I was getting 150 emails per hour through the week. And there's no way I could sit down and have a full-time job just reading all those emails. So I tend to read the subject matter. And if the subject matter grabs my attention, I'll respond to it, and then I reply to it to let people know that I did get it. Because as an engagement thing, you want to reward them for sending you something that's important. And the best way to do that is to engage actively with it. People are going to find out pretty fast if you're a phony, if you're just trying to be a tag-on leader, and you're trying to lead from a distance. That doesn't work. They figure it out really fast. And then you wonder why you have a low engagement culture. And one of the reasons why all these business practices have a hard time measuring engagement is because they have to have the right measurements. You have to admit something about yourself. If you're not a very engaged person, or you're just you're what some of my friends call wave runners. You find a wave and ride it. Wave riders. It's like surfing. You find the next big thing and then you catch it with a surfboard and try to ride the wave in. There's a lot of people who do that. They look for a hot topic and then they try to ride the wave, and then they wonder why people don't engage with them because they can tell you're a phony. You're dressed like a slob and you took 2 or 3 hours to answer their email. They know you don't really care about them. And so you can't come up and say, hey, do something for me, even though I didn't reward you with a simple acknowledgement of your email, or I didn't look you in the eye. Something I used to do a lot, because I enjoy wearing sunglasses, especially on bright days. Ultraviolet light, I like my eyes. I've always had great eyesight. I try to keep my eyes protected as much as possible over the years, so safety glasses are something that I care about, because I don't like stuff blowing in my eyes. And then with the sun, I don't like having unfiltered access to my eyes to the sun and the ultraviolet radiation that comes from it, so I wear a lot of sunglasses. But I talk to so many people that it's very disrespectful to wear sunglasses while you're talking to people. So I have developed a habit, and I force myself to do it, to whenever I talk to people, I, like right here in this kind of situation, I take the sunglasses off, and even though I'm usually thinking about what I'm talking about and I'm not looking right at the camera, professional decorum tells you to do that, but I think when I do these things, when I talk to people, I want to share the authentic, like we're having a conversation. And if we're having a conversation, I wouldn't try to make you feel really uncomfortable by looking straight at you the whole time and talking to you and forcing you to engage with me. I'm going to give you a way out to think about what you want to think about, because I respect your thoughts. And I want you to feel like you can look in different places and not have to look me straight in the eye on every single thing, just so you can show me that you care about what I'm saying. But good communication tactics say, if you're going to talk to people, let them see your eyes, let them get a gauge of your sincerity, let yourself be a little vulnerable, don't put shields up. Another thing that I like to do is not cross my arms. Although I tend to always want to cross my arms when I'm thinking, and I'm thinking a lot. If I'm listening to what people are telling me, you tend to want to do this. And it feels right. Problem is, it sends a nonverbal communication to the people that are talking to you that you're resistant to what they're saying, because you're protecting your torso in a protective way. That means that they pick up on it nonverbally as a threat. So if you're not looking at them and you're talking to them with your arms crossed, you're telling them that you don't really want to hear what they have to say. You're protecting yourself from what they're telling you. And it's those little things with engagement that make all the difference in the world. So the comments to me this past week, which is why I'm talking about this now, the questions have been, are you a perfect person? Because they keep looking for flaws in your personality, because they're flawed people. And they want to know before they open up to you that they can trust. And if you're too perfect, then, or if they perceive you to be unreachable, they want to know, hey, do you have a scar? Do you have a vice? Do you have something I can relate to? Do you like to drink too much? Do you like to womanize? Do you have a vice? And when they can't find one, they're like, are you a perfect person? And it bothers them. That's not a compliment. They're telling you that because they are looking for some reason to reach out and engage with you, and they want to know that you have a vice because they have vices. They have problems. They have lack of engagement issues. And then they want to know why their systems don't work, because people don't engage with them. People don't sign up for the extra work. Why are people kind of doing the passive aggressive thing and just telling you what you want to hear, to your face, and then as soon as they're 5 minutes away from you, they're doing something else? Why do people do that? Well, there's a whole lot of reasons, and a lot of it comes from some of the secrets of engagement, and again, the passive aggressiveness that humans learn. Humans are thinking creatures. They're not like elements of nature where they just grow towards the sun, or they eat for continued sustenance. They drink water to keep everything flowing right in their bodies, to stay hydrated. Human beings are thinking creatures, and they protect what their opinions of other people are with passive aggressiveness. So they develop all kinds of means to not engage. And if you're a leader, your goal is to get them to break down those barriers and engage in the strategy that you've come up with as a leader. and to follow it, and to follow it across multiple layers of people. And one sure way to get passive aggressive lack of engagement is to show them signs of it by wearing sunglasses while you're talking to them, or talking to them with your arms crossed, showing you're resistant to whatever they might be saying, or not looking at them in the face, or not listening to them, not repeating back something they said, to let them know that you're listening. They're likely going to do the same thing to you. So yes, I tend to answer emails in the middle of the night, all hours of the day, as soon as I see them, to show people when I do read the emails, if they catch me with a subject letter, to reward them with my interaction. And people genuinely are very receptive to that. They like knowing that, hey, I got through to that guy. He acknowledged my existence. I'm having a good day. And then they tend to, when you say, hey, I need you to go get this thing or go do this thing, they tend to listen, because you gave them the benefit of the doubt at some point in time, even if it cost you time and effort in the process. I personally, when I'm talking to people, I'd rather talk like this with my sunglasses on, because I want to make sure my thoughts, my personal integrity are protected from the messy lives of other people. But if you're talking to other people who have messy lives and you're trying to get them to engage in something you're trying to propose to them, letting them know that you don't like them or that you're superior to them in some way is going to get you there. And again, the comments towards me is to say, are you a perfect person? I'm frustrated. That's what they're saying. I'm trying to find a vice in you that I can invest in. Something I don't feel comfortable dealing with you, because I'm going to talk to you like this until I find some weakness in your personality that I can exploit before I feel like I can open myself up to you. That's really what's going on. And some of the secrets of communication are understanding people's need for that, or people's a lack of engagement by passive aggressive tendencies, and how you can break through those barriers through your own communication ability to get them to sign up for things that you need them to do. And that's a leadership quality. And some people have it naturally. Some people have to develop over a long period of time. And like I said, for myself, I'm very conscious. I try not to cross my arms when I'm talking. I'm wearing sunglasses all the time. If I know I'm going to talk to somebody, I take the sunglasses off, put them in a pocket, or hang them on my shirt, and I make sure I look people in the eye, in the right pupil specifically, at least a few times during our conversation, to let them know that I care enough to make myself vulnerable to them personally, because that shows investment on my part, and you usually get a good response from people when you do that. So engagement's an important thing. To answer the question, because I usually when I do these kinds of talks, I was asked by more than one person over the course of a calendar week why I do certain things the way I do them, and those are reasons why. It's a professional communication strategy you learn over time. And the goal is to get engagement, to get people who don't just tell you what you want to hear to your face, but they don't passively aggressively sabotage the strategic effort. They buy into it, and they're not going to buy into it if they think that they don't have some hook into you personally. If you haven't let them in a little bit, if you didn't answer their email, or when you talk to them, you're doing this, or you're looking everywhere but where they're at. When I'm doing this, I'm kind of looking around at all kinds of different things as I'm thinking, because I'm trying to get the images in my head, and you're trying to see them as they come in. So when you're in a conversation with somebody, you might be looking all over the place, doing all these things. But sometimes you do have to look straight at it. I tend to not do that because I want to have a natural conversation as opposed to using a teleprompter. I have a teleprompter right in front of me. I could use it, but then that's a crutch. It's phony. You need to have a conversation with people the way I typically would talk to somebody. And that means the speech isn't totally perfect. The sentence structure isn't always 100% correct. Because you're being honest with people. It's just like taking the sunglasses off or not crossing your arms when you're talking. You want to let people know that you're being as authentic as possible. So we're having a natural conversation as much as we can, given the fact that this is a video that gets posted. People watch it at their own leisure. They take ownership of that information once I put it out there. Then it becomes theirs. Then their ownership of it can give them a sense of responsibility and engaging with that content. Those are all strategies of engagement. And you want to try and unlock engagement as much as possible in people, but you can't be phony in doing it. You can't cheat it. You can't put out a series of images and be a phony baloney and expect people to buy into your leadership style. You got to actually be authentic, and people are going to figure out really fast if you're authentic or not. The reason why these conversations came up is the people asking me it were feeling like they weren't getting buy-in from the people around them because they present themselves. They've come across as phonies. That's by their own doing. I can only honestly tell you this is the way you can improve that. But be careful with the sunglasses and be careful with crossing your arms. Make sure you answer emails honestly, not with some corporate logo jargon. You got to be sincere. If you're not sincere, people are going to pick it up really fast. And you can't be a phony in that process. Sincerity is a way to undo passive aggressiveness. And most humans participate in passive aggressiveness because they learned early on that if they tell their grandma that she smells bad and she's overweight, that grandma probably won't buy them a new toy or candy at the store. So a lot of people grow into their adult lives being very manipulative, because they suppress their thoughts on things. They cross their arms a lot. They wear sunglasses. They don't make direct eye contact when they're talking, because they want to reserve the right to do whatever they want and not have a buy-in from someone they're talking to and feel the responsibility of achieving something that they connected with. These are subtleties of engagement that are very useful, and I'm sharing them so people listening can benefit. Because I like to see more cooperation and more things happen that's beneficial. It's actually, these are strategies that are actually worth a whole lot of money. And I give it away for free because I want to see a better world and people interacting with each other better. And I don't think that's a bad thing at all. Anyways, Rich Hoffman here. Share, subscribe, make tomorrow a better day. If you haven't read my book, The Gunfighter's Guide to Business, it's all about these kinds of things. I think you'll love it. Anyway, have a good day. See you later.
In the age of disclosure, you must understand the politics of heaven. Coming soon.
Coming soon. The politics of heaven in 2027. A treasure hunt through heaven and all human history.